Welcome back to another episode of Security Skates. This is your host Paul, and on this episode you will attend the skate park cleanup that happened at Venice Beach Skate Park. This cleanup happened on Friday, June 13th and started at 2 p.m. at Venice Beach. This was Security Skates' first cleanup at Venice Beach Skate Park, so I was pleased as punch to get out there and get some work done. You can see we got our table here with our buckets and our flyers. Beautiful Venice Beach day. It was a little overcast, but it was also getting sunny. The sun was starting to break through about 2 p.m. Give you a look at the setup real quick. We had our sign letting you know where volunteers could check in. Had some of our broom, shovels, dustpans out there. Had some of our gear with our flag. Got our snacks, first aid kit. Letting people know about all 24 LA skate park cleanups. Had our information on Office of Community Beautification and Skate Park Respect. We had our spare parts box out. Had our dollar wax out, our masks, trash bags, gloves, our signage and permits. Had all our buckets. Had some brooms, some more dustpans over here. Had our buckets and grabbers, our main trash can, our cold drinks. It was a beautiful Venice day. It was packed. It was a Friday, so it wasn't too bad, but there were definitely a lot of people out there. Usual Venice day. You can see that I was set up on the small skate park, not too far from the main or big skate park. And I did this because usually the big skate park is in pretty good condition. There's not too much trash laying around. I don't know if it's because of the breeze from the beach or because the locals keep it in that condition, but every time I have been out to Venice Beach, there is rarely any trash out there or too big of a mess out there that has to be cleaned up. So that is awesome to see, which is why I set up over here. You can see my table set up there over here at the small skate park. You can see there are not too many people over here. A lot of them are over at the main skate park because honestly it is a lot of fun to skate. But I'm glad I set up at the small skate park because it could definitely use a little bit of TLC, as we will get into now. You can see a couple bits of trash laying around, some plastic particles, stuff like that. I was ready to grab my bucket and grabber and get to work. But I'm going to give you guys a quick roll around so that you can see some of the trash that I was looking at and some of the work that I wanted to get done. One of these was actually surprising and it was the main job, but yeah, we're going to go over here. There was some weeds growing out, some trash building up around it. Definitely wanted to hit that. Over here, there are plenty of trash cans out, which was a pleasure to see, but over here, you can see the rail, and I noticed right away that some of the sand and grass was growing into the run-up of the rail, so I was definitely going to see what I could do there, but that actually paid off really well. You can see some trash just outside the trash can. It looks like somebody didn't make their shot. Nothing too serious except for the run-up over there by the flat bar. But yeah, I love this skate park. I remember when I first started coming to Venice Beach when I was a youngin' and skated in high school, and I was just amazed at the small skate park because the big one wasn't there yet. So it was really a pleasure to get out here and get those memories going and get some work in to a place that I've been skating for over 10, 15 years now. So I wanted to get started with some cigarette butts. Turns out cigarette butts are actually a big problem. Every skate park I've been to, there are always cigarette butts out for me to pick up. But yeah, getting over here, get some work done. Wasn't too bad, nothing too serious, but you can see these weeds growing out and there was like some trash building up inside of them. So I definitely wanted to get some work done there. Wanted to grab my scraper and get all those weeds up, maybe swept up into a bucket. See people having fun out here. So yeah, I definitely got started on that. Pulled out my scraper, started getting some of these weeds up. Came up a lot easier than I thought they would, which was easy on the hand. Didn't have to use too much elbow grease to get them out of there. And I was definitely starting to notice a difference as soon as I got started. There was definitely a lot of trash coming out of there. Again, you can see the cigarette butts building up here. Had to get this one with my hand, but yeah, definitely got some work done. For sure should have had gloves on, but I rushed into it because I wanted to get as much done as I could in the time that I was allotted out there. You can see it came out, no problem. So here is the before and the after, looking a lot better. Got around that corner, you can see all the stuff that I swept up in this bucket here. And I was feeling really good. Found some community wax, wanted to put back there for storage because that's where I found it. Wanted to put it back. Never want to take stuff that's not yours from a skate park. It's definitely in the rule book. So I was ready to get over here to the flat bar and the run up. And you can see here I had my scraper out. I was traveling light with my tools this day, and I did regret it because if I'd have one of my scoop shovels or my gravel shovels, it would have worked a lot quicker. But I was ready to put in the work and get that scraper and line it up so that we had a good run up on this side of the flat bar. You can see it was just a total mess. And I ride goofy, so this was kind of on my side, I felt like, so definitely wanted to put some work in. Got to work with the scraper and started lining it up. Now the first thing I'm going to say is I was surprised at how much this stuff actually weighed. There was a lot of work that had to be done. You saw my table over there. I was spending a lot of time on this though. You can see it was definitely coming along. A work in progress. Was able to get some of that grass up. But all this stuff was just so heavy. I can honestly say that this is one of, if not the most labor intensive cleanups that I have done so far on the cleanup cruise campaign. Definitely put some work and sweat into this, but it was looking good and I could see the progress that was possible, so I definitely wanted to continue along and make sure that I got it all picked up. This was it here. This was pretty much the final result. Got it all lined up, got it into a trash can. Going to show you guys what I was doing with all the leftovers here. You could see how much of it just came up, and it is crazy how heavy that stuff is. It actually took me about 7 or 8 loads because after I would get it filled about a quarter of the way, the trash can would just be so heavy and I would just have to wheel it over there and get it dumped out. But yeah, you could see all the earth that I moved from that side of the rail. So it was definitely some labor intensive stuff and put some sweat in, but it felt really good to see the final result, which is this here. As the sun was drying the asphalt next to it where all that stuff was before, it was looking a lot better. Check that out, y'all. Beautiful. So I was definitely proud of this work and I was ready to skate this rail. But yeah, next time you head out to Venice Beach, go and check this part out. Hit this rail for me because now the run up is clear on both sides. You know, I was definitely ready to get a little session. I was ready to board slide half of the thing for sure. Took me a couple of tries, but I got 3 solid ones. About to see it here. Check it out, y'all. Felt really good to get this cleaned up and make it a little bit more skatable for the community. So next time you're out there at Venice Beach, go over there and hit it for me. I don't know if you recall the rail that was there before, but it was kind of like one of those kinked rails that was long and higher on one end and lower on the other. But this flat bar is actually a lot funner. So yeah, it was time to wrap it up. I was going to start getting ready to go, get my table set up, but I wanted to get this trash, show you guys a bit of what I got picked up. This was not the earth that I had moved from the side of the rail, but this was the actual trash that I picked up from around the park. Some of the weeds and stuff, some of the plastic. I'll say that we had 0 volunteers on this cleanup, but it was awesome to see the kind of work that I could myself put in and get something cleaned up a little bit better for the community to skate. There it is, one more shot of it. So beautiful, so proud of it. But you can see the big skate park was still pretty cracking. I was getting my table cleaned up and my setup ready to go, but it was still a beautiful day out there at Venice Beach. You can see them there, all having fun, watching the skaters skate. Always trips me out to see how many spectators will just stand there and watch people skate and have fun because we're just out there doing our thing. So again, even with 0 volunteers, I gotta say this was one of the most enjoyable cleanups. It was beautiful scenery. The Venice Beach cleanup, I put in some real work and got some earth moved from on the side of that rail, made it a little bit more skatable. A ton of fun out on this one. A big thank you to the City of Los Angeles Board of Public Works Office of Community Beautification for their partnership and providing us the tools to get these cleanups done. Also, a huge shout out to Skate Park Respect for all the work that they do. We are an ambassador of that program. Be sure to log on to skateparkrespect.org and log in, become an ambassador yourself. If you are digging this content, you could give us a follow on Instagram at security_skates to find out what's going on with us next and what we are currently doing at the moment. Security Skates Productions is a privately skater-owned independent enterprise and skate parks advocate. You can find out more about us by logging on to securityskates.com. This has been your host, Paul, signing off. Now get off of your phone and go skate, y'all. Happy skateboarding.